Hello, y'all, and welcome to That's What He Said. I'm your host, Natalie, and this is a podcast about dating, mostly. I am super excited to share today's episode with y'all. Mena is an interesting guy with a very interesting story. Essentially, he went from partying every night to praying every night. In his words, he burned his old life down to the ground. And the most interesting part about this conversation, interesting or entertaining, however you look at it, is his stories about these spiritual attacks, demonic attacks, encounters that he had. Everything from having full-blown conversations with Jesus, seeing him like he's a real human being, describing the way that he looks, to flipping off demons that he was seeing at night, sometimes in his dreams, sometimes not, when he was fully awake and conscious. You'll actually hear me share one of my stories as well of a time that I encountered a demon back when I lived in a sorority house in college. So I do tell that story in this episode. Y'all will get a kick out of that. But if you're not new here, you probably know I'm a very spiritual person. So I love this kind of stuff, honestly. I live for this. I left just feeling really inspired. The toxic guy can become the good guy. I really think we're in a time where humanity is shifting into a more positive frequency, a higher frequency. And it's really evident with testimonies like this. I was very entertained through this entire session. His testimony is absolutely fascinating to me. Y'all are going to love this. No matter what your thoughts are on it, you got to hear these stories. Because I am a little spiritual woo-woo and we are talking about demons here, very specific demons, I will say, bless your home, bless your space wherever you're watching this before and after, just so we keep those demons away. We don't want to open up portals for them to mess around where we are. Jesus, yes. Demons, no. Right now, before you forget, please hit the thumbs up button, like this episode if you are watching it on YouTube. And if at any point you find yourself enjoying the episode, please follow or subscribe wherever you're watching or listening. Apple, Spotify, and or YouTube, and leave a comment. YouTube and Spotify, you can leave comments now. And lastly, leave a rating or review if you are on Spotify or Apple. I greatly appreciate it. These things help me so much. They help the algorithm work with me to help me grow the show. So thank you in advance. Let's find out what he said.
So I see this demonic face like pop out like through the light, through the shine of the light into my face. And this demonic face, I could tell it wasn't a regular demon. I could tell he was one of like the generals, like the top dogs in the underworld. Mm-hmm. And I could tell Satan sent him to me in particularly because of how strong my faith started becoming, and they knew that they were gonna lose me. So he sent one of his strongest demons after me. I found out later on which demon that was actually, but this demon had a yellow face with black stripes around it, like on his face. He was smiling at me, but simultaneously sticking his tongue out at me while he was flipping me off. His tongue was like yellow with black marks on it. I could see his fingernails. Like it was the craziest, like detailed image of he was definitely in my face. Mm-hmm. So I started cussing him out. I just like, fuck you. Like, fuck you. You can't do shit to me. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, yeah? I was like, yeah. I was like, fuck you. I was like, Christ is Lord. Christ is God. The Lord Jesus is on my side. You're not going to do anything to me. You think you're scaring me. You're not scaring me. Mm-hmm. If anything, you're making my faith more. Like, you're making me believe in God more.
So, Mena, welcome to That's What He Said. I'm really excited to have you and talk to you. I'll kind of give a backstory of why you're here. So I met you several months ago out and about in Houston, and you were the toxic Habibi on Instagram.
Absolutely.
And
The one
I
and
will
only.
say, I'll say when I met you, to be frank, like you're super kind and everything, but I could pick up on some of what you were, the darkness that you were dealing with. I just read energy really well, so I could just feel like just there's something going on there. I think that was a while back. So I was super interested when I started to see you posting about God and stuff like that. It really captured my attention, as I'm sure it did a lot of people that knew you.
Oh yeah.
They're probably like, "What's going on?" And then you came out on Instagram with this long, 9-minute video talking about what happened to you and how you have had this like transformational experience in life. So I want to jump right into it if you don't mind,
Yeah,
and
please.
just tell the story of like what happened.
I mean, I don't want to make it 9 minutes long again.
No, you can. We got plenty of time. So,
All right.
yeah.
I mean, long story short, I was really in a dark place. You know, I was partying so much, just every day. I just felt like my soul was just non-existent. Like I really felt like I wasn't a human being anymore. And it got to a point where I was just so lost. Like even though like yes, on the outside people thought I had my shit together, but on the inside I truly did not have my shit together. Like I was emotionally unstable. And this kind of stemmed from my, after me and my ex broke up back in 2021,
Okay.
and then it was just trickled from there. But what happened was, I I was with this girl that I was seeing at the time, and I've always felt like there's kind of something off about her. Like I don't know, I felt like there was like some sort of like demonic attachment towards her or something. It was just a weird vibe that I had from her. And we had fallen asleep, and I woke up in the middle of the night. I actually woke up because my TV screen was on. I fell asleep with the TV on, and I had like this black shadow on top of me, choking me out. I was like stuck to my bed. I couldn't move. I couldn't talk. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't breathe. Like he was actually choking me out.
And you were like awake.
Oh yeah, I was 100% awake. I could literally see the screen behind the shadow like of my TV still on.
Okay.
And I'm freaking out. Like I literally can't move at all. And I'm sitting there like just in my mind praying to God. And I'll get into full detail with it. Actually, I was saying the Lord's Prayer, like Our Father who art in heaven. And a demonic voice started repeating it after me.
You were saying this out loud?
No, I was saying it in my mind.
Oh, okay.
Because I couldn't speak.
Okay.
So I'm praying in my mind, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, And a demonic voice was in my mind praying it.
Really?
And it was like the scariest thing I've ever heard in my
What did
life.
that sound like?
Like how typical demonic voices sound in the movies, just like that. Like a dark voice, like it's super deep.
I almost think of like a voice that sounds like multiple voices too. Like
No, yes, in a way.
like resonant, kind of like really deep.
Yeah, it was like a very low tone voice. Like it's like how you would expect a devil to talk, or it's literally that.
Okay.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's really terrifying. I don't know if I'm supposed to cuss or
You
anything.
can, yeah.
All right, cool.
I'll bleep it.
But yeah, it's terrifying, and I can see that shadow on top of me, like just choking me out, and I was terrified, so I'm just screaming in my head, Yeshua al-Masih, Yeshua al-Masih, Yeshua al-Masih, which translates to Jesus Christ or Jesus the Messiah in Arabic, and I just kept repeating it, and again, mind you, I'm frozen, I'm like completely paralyzed, I can't move, I can't talk, I can't do anything. So this white light starts like opening up. It's like space and time was cut. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like this white light literally just started opening up in the under my TV in my bedroom. And the second that white light opened up, that shadow looked back and just flew off, disappeared. And
Did the shadow look like something? Like
it was just
did
a
it
black.
have a shape?
It was just a black shadow.
Okay.
Like you could see through it, like because I could see the light from my TV shining through it.
Okay.
So it was very noticeable.
Right.
Like it's like there was light in my room. It wasn't pitch dark. You know what I mean? But yeah. So once that shadow just flew off, like this man pops out of the white light, like a physical human being, And mind you, I'm like, the second the shadow flew off, I like got up. I was like, whew, like taking a deep breath.
Oh, really?
Like I was taking a deep breath, and as
And this girl's asleep.
this girl's dead asleep. Like she was not
Okay.
waking up. I literally tried to wake her up. I kept like pushing down on her. I'm like, wake up. She's not waking up. I'm freaking out. There's a white light in the middle of my room opening up bigger and bigger and bigger. And a shadow just attacked me. All this stuff was happening.
Right.
It was just so much happening at once. And so this man starts popping out of the white light. Once he fully came out of the white light, I was kind of scared, but like for some reason I still kind of felt a little peace. But like I'm like sitting on my bed, I'm like let's couch it up, like what's going on? And this man's literally in my bedroom, like wearing a white gown, like just a white, pure white gown.
Okay.
And he's like walking around my bed slowly. And I'm like kind of freaking out, and he just grabs my hand and pulls me up out of bed and just hugs me. And like the second he hugged me, I feel like I melted. Like I just didn't know any sort of pain or agony anymore. Like I was just happy. I was filled with joy and filled with so much peace. And I'm looking at this man. I'm like, man, like I'm like, who are you? Like I had a feeling of who he was. Like I knew who he was, but I just kept asking him, who are you? Who are you? And it's like he didn't want to respond to me. Like he knew that I knew who he was. Mm-hmm. But he just looked at me and he goes, stop feeling guilty. That's all he said to me. And he puts me back on my bed. I'm sitting up bawling, crying. Like I'm crying. Like
Did this feel like you felt like a physical?
I felt
like,
that I was awake. like people would think this was a dream, that I was
Right.
hallucinating. I was.
But you were like, it was like if you hugged me right now, that's how it feels.
That's how it felt.
Okay.
Like I felt the touch. I felt the physical touch. I felt his body, everything. And mind you, I'm crying while he's hugging me. Like I'm literally in tears. Mm-hmm. But I'm filled with so much joy and peace at the same time. And yeah, he puts me back on my bed and I'm just bawling, crying. And he just slowly walks back to the white light, looks back at me, smiles, and just walks through that white light again, and the white light disappears. And I am up for like hours crying. Like, I'm like, no way this just happened. I'm like trying to convince myself this was a dream.
Right.
I'm like, no, there's no way. There's no way this just happened. I'm like, this was a dream. Mm-hmm. Like, you're hallucinating. Something is wrong with you. Like, you're tripping out. Something's going on. Mind you, I was sober for like 2 weeks, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I had not touched.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, I haven't touched anything for like 2 weeks.
Okay, so this was like a normal sober night in bed.
Absolutely. I was just chilling. I took a little break off the nightlife. I was like, I need to recoup myself.
Okay.
You know, and the girl I was seeing was like, hey, I want to come over. I haven't seen you in a while. I said, all right, come by. You know, but like I was completely sober.
That's interesting timing.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I have a firm belief that alcohol and like those type of substances reduce your consciousness and like basically stifle your spirit. Mm-hmm. And it keeps you far from God. So it's interesting that there was almost this like window of time when you were a little bit sober and maybe had a little bit.
It opened up the pathway. Because what drugs and alcohol does, it completely cuts the pathway to the Holy Spirit. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't allow the Holy Spirit and to God to work fully inside of you the way they're supposed to.
Yeah.
It completely numbs your soul. Mm-hmm. So that's the whole reason why drugs and alcohol has been so normalized in the world.
Right.
It keeps people further away from God.
Yeah. Not to toot my own horn, but people often ask me what makeup I use, what kind of skincare routine do I have, or what type of workouts do I do to stay in such great shape and looking so good. But my response is always I eat really healthy and I take a lot of supplements. Y'all know by now that I'm a huge advocate for self-improvement, and step one to that is to quit being fat and get in shape. I always say that the dad bod needs to be dead. I am a First Form ambassador and a longtime customer, been using First Form since 2017, and I'm going to put you on to what supplements you should be taking non-negotiable. The First Form collagen with Dermavol will have you aging backwards internally and externally. Other popular brands like Vital Proteins are absolute trash when you look at the science of how these are made. Our collagen has the most diverse amino acid profile and the Dermavol phytonutrient-rich complex as a bonus. Collagen is a protein found in every single joint, tendon, bone, and ligament in the body and is crucial to strengthening and keeping all those tissues healthy. Not only that, but it also helps support our skin health, elasticity, nail strength, hair health, and many other things. And of course, the post-workout stack, First Form's signature. Now, of course, you need to actually work out before you take this if you're trying to get in shape. Don't forget that part. The ignition will rapidly replenish glycogen, which equates to muscle energy. At the same time, Formula 1 protein powder is a rapid assimilation protein, which means it gets into the muscles very quickly and begins repairing them fast. With the post-workout stack, you can recover faster, reduce muscle soreness, and earn nothing short of incredible results. Oh, and the flavors go crazy and everything is made in the USA. Use my commission link in the episode description. Get hotter, get healthier, improve yourself, improve your dating pool. So this man, could you like describe him?
I could physically describe how he looked like. This man was about probably, I would say, 5'11". Average size, kind of skinny. He had curly hair that came up to here. Like it didn't fully touch his shoulders.
Okay.
Just really, really curly hair, like kind of like light brown curly hair.
Okay, like mine.
Yeah, well, yours a little more blondish, but it was like, yeah, it was pretty curly. It was actually kind of that like curly, just like that, but it was just a little shorter. You could definitely tell he was Middle Eastern. I could definitely see the shape of his nose, like he had the Middle Eastern nose. Very calming eyes, like very common eyes. His eyebrows just laid like on top of his eyes, like very calmly. He had a patchy beard. Like his beard was short on the side right here, and it was a little bit longer, right in the middle. And like his beard in the middle probably reached about 2 to 3 inches down, but it split in the middle like this. But yeah, I mean, he was tan skinned, darker than me, for sure.
And he spoke to you in English.
Yeah, he definitely spoke to me in English. I mean, I speak Arabic too, but I think he could like. It's funny that when he said "stop feeling guilty," I actually don't know the translation from English to Arabic of what guilty is. I've never said that word in my life. I speak fluent Arabic, but that's like one of the words that I've never really said.
Kind of an odd word, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if he would have spoke to me in Arabic, I wouldn't have like understood what he said. So he said it to me in English.
Interesting.
And it was more like telepathical. Like it was like
Right.
like he didn't speak to me physically. Like he just like said it out loud in my mind. So it was just, I don't know. It was a crazy, crazy experience. But yeah,
So what happened next?
I cried myself to sleep like a baby. I literally cried myself to sleep. Again, I was like trying to convince myself I was dreaming. I was like, there's no way this happened. Like, this is absolutely insane.
Right.
Like, I'm thinking to myself, if I tell anybody this happened to me, they're gonna tell me you're crazy.
Of course.
Like, you're like, this didn't happen to you. You're hallucinating. You're on drugs. You're dreaming. There's a million excuses they were gonna say like that never happened to me. So I kept it in for months. I like never told anybody about it. I finally told my parents like weeks after it happened. Like,
So this was months ago.
oh yeah, this happened in July of 2024. This happened in July of 2024. But I was still partying.
Right.
Like, you met me after that.
Right.
You actually met me after that encounter I had with him. And a little bit of it was because of who I was in the nightlife and like the stuff that I was doing in the nightlife. I didn't want to let go of that status and that image. Like, I was well respected in the nightlife. People know who I am. All the girls that I knew and stuff, like, I was still chasing the girls. But it's crazy because during that time after that encounter, I did slow down on the drinking, but I was still drinking. Like, I mean, I went from every day to maybe twice a week, 3 times a week. Even like, I kind of slowed down on, messing around with girls too. Like, I was.
Sounds like maybe you were like kind of convicted, and so you were like
I didn't
one
know,
foot in and 1 foot out.
Yeah, I was very
thing.
lukewarm. Very lukewarm.
What do you think he meant? Jesus, we're just call him by name.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who this dude was, I think. What do you think he meant when he said stop feeling guilty?
At that time, I didn't know what to make of it. because yes, I did feel a lot of guilt and shame because of all the things that I was doing. I mean, I was just doing some really terrible, like a lot of it. If I told you the things I would be doing, you would think I'd probably be lying still. Like my life was literally a movie. Like from the drugs, the alcohol, to the women, to the partying, to like all the stuff that I was doing, it was insane. No normal human being lives that lifestyle and makes it out alive. But I also felt so much shame and guilt for the things that I was doing. And I think that guilt and shame kept me further from him. And it and I felt like I wasn't worthy of his love. I'm like, why would God love a person like me? Like, I'm a person who manipulates women and sleeps with women and does all these things and uses all these substances and constantly just focusing on making money, and that's it. That's all I care about is making money and da 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 da. And just like, it was such a lifestyle. I literally had no more emotion. Like I was an emotionless person. I didn't feel human. And I think when he told me that, it was because he wanted me to return to him. He's like, you can't return to me with all this guilt and shame. Like, you're still worthy of my love. Like, I'm asking you to come back to me.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to believe it. Like, I just didn't want to believe it. And I didn't want to let go of my status. And also, it could have had another meaning of, like, me not feeling guilty after leaving that lifestyle. You know, so I was kind of juggling those two meanings behind that statement that he made to me.
Yeah.
Like, again, like, and I was in a rough spot. Like, I needed to make that money. I needed to do this. I needed to do that. Like, I was just like, there's so much happening in my life.
So did you just try to like forget about it for a while?
I couldn't forget about it. There's no way. That experience, it's an experience you can never forget about.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how hard you try, like, there was times where I'd be messed up, like just drunk and on all sorts of substances. And it was the weirdest thing. People would start bringing up the conversation of God to me. Like, while I'm at an after party or something, like partying in somebody's like mansion or something, or like partying at like an after hour spot or whatever, like people would start talking to God, or start talking about God to me. And then sometimes I would just end up telling them my encounter while I'm all up. Like, I would just tell them my encounter with God. And I'm sure so many people are like, yeah, this dude's messed up right now. Like,
Oh yeah.
but it's something it's like you can't really not talk about it. Like,
Yeah.
it's
What made you decide to tell everyone on the internet recently?
so
That was only a couple weeks ago.
yeah. So it wasn't the first time. Like, I mean, that was the first time. That story that I told you was the first time of him appearing to me. But he also appeared to me another time about 2 months ago.
Okay.
So that second time he appeared to me was in a pretty intense way, kind of very similar to what happened the first time. I was sober for like probably like 3 to 4 days still, like sleeping, wake up in the middle of the night. So what I had started doing actually was I was playing Bible verses on my phone. So like late at night, like before I go to sleep, I just play Bible verses, like audible Bible verses. That way I could like subconsciously
Yeah. I
take
do
in.
remember you saying this.
Yeah. So I woke up in the middle of the night, can't move, can't talk. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, I know what's happening here. I've dealt with this before. So I'm looking around and I see my phone with the light on, because YouTube doesn't play when your phone is locked.
Yeah.
So like you gotta keep the phone on.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the Bible verses are playing from YouTube on my phone, and I can hear the Bible verses playing. And I'm looking around and it's just dark. Like the only thing that's shining is the light. So I basically
You're
was like,
looking around for a
so
little
I'm looking
dude,
around
yeah.
and I'm like, show yourself.
Yeah.
So I see this demonic face like pop out like through the light, through the shine of the light into my face. And this demonic face, I could tell it wasn't a regular demon. I could tell he was one of like the generals, like the top dogs in the underworld. And I could tell Satan sent him to me in particularly because of how strong my faith started becoming, and they knew that they were gonna lose me. So he sent one of his strongest demons after me. I found out later on which demon that was actually, but this demon had a yellow face with black stripes around it, like on his face. He was smiling at me, but simultaneously sticking his tongue out at me while he was flipping me off. His tongue was like yellow with black marks on it. I could see his fingernails. Like it was the craziest, like detailed image of the. I mean, he was definitely in my face. So I started cussing him out. I just like, fuck you. Like, fuck you. You can't do shit to me. And he's like, oh yeah? I was like, yeah. I was like, fuck you. I was like, Christ is Lord. Christ is God. The Lord Jesus is on my side. You're not going to do anything to me. You think you're scaring me. You're not scaring me. If anything, you're making my faith more. Like, you're making me believe in God more. And, like, he gets in my face, and I'm, like, I'm trying to move my arm. So I'm, like, finally moving my arm to flip him back off. Like, I just didn't want to flip him. Because I know I can't physically punch a demon. So I'm like, all right, I would have punched him if he was, like, a physical being, not an entity. But, like I was just trying to flip him back off because I was being petty. I was like, all right. I was like, you think you're gonna flip me off? I'm gonna flip you back off, bro. Like, it is what it is.
I mean, realistically, sidebar. This was something I was reading in a book recently. That's more so about like healing your own trauma from like people who've hurt you in your past. But that's all demonic too.
Yeah.
But like, I think in our culture we've been taught that like curse words are bad and you shouldn't say them, but they have a purpose.
Yeah.
So like you trying to flip off a demon, you're basically saying fuck you to the demon, which is cursing him, which is the proper use of that.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I'm cursing out the demon because one thing is, so you have to understand, demons feed off your fear. When you're scared of them, they become more powerful. They start having more control over your body. The reason why that night I was able to move my arm was because I wasn't scared of him. If I was scared of him, he would have had full control over my body. So the reason why my arm was coming up was because I wasn't fearful of him anymore. I wasn't fearful of the demons.
And fear is the lowest frequency.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they have full control over you. I mean, forget guilt, shame, all those other frequencies, because they still control you through that vulnerability.
Sure.
So, I mean, me pulling my arm up, like, it was proof that I wasn't scared of him anymore. But as soon as my arm came up, before I had the chance to flip him off, it's like it's straight out of a movie. Sorry, it's like straight out of. I gotta show you what happened. Okay. Like Jesus comes from behind him and punches him from the back, and Jesus's arm comes out of his body.
What?
The demon's body, and the demon's like this in the air. And I'm telling you, this is like, it's like coming straight out of a movie.
Yeah.
And again, I'm probably sounding crazy, but like, this is what happened. And this demon was literally in the air like this, boom, disappears. He grabs me and yanks me out of bed. I literally flew off the bed. And like, the second I flew off of the bed, he disappears.
Jesus.
Yeah, he disappears. He doesn't. So I'm sitting in bed and I'm like, yeah, okay. I was like, this is my last chance. Like, you're basically warning me, like, I'm done. He's like, I'm done helping you. I'm giving you so many chances and you're not listening to me. Like, this is it. You're going to kill yourself. Like, and that at that very second, that very point, like, I was just like, this is done. My life is done. I'm done doing this I'm doing. And mind you, like, I was like at the edge of my bed. Like, that's how hard he pulled me out of bed.
Wow.
So I'm sitting on the edge of my bed, like this is done. Like, he's literally telling me, like, you're done with this lifestyle. If you want to keep going back to it, I'm not gonna help you anymore. Like, I've given you so many chances in the last 2 decades, and you still haven't learned. Like, what else do you want me to do?
Yeah.
You know. Wow. But I was, I would always pray to him and like tell him, like, I am a weak person. Like, I have no self-control. I have no self-control around substances. I have no self-control around women. I don't know what to do. Like, every time I go out, every time I'm with a girl, like, I start flirting, I'm like it's just like, it doesn't stop. It's like an ongoing cycle. Yeah. And I literally had no sort of power to stop those things. And then next day when I woke up, I don't know, I lost the urge to do anything. I lost the urge to drink. I lost the urge to use any substance. I lost the urge to lust and have sex with different women again. I just lost the urge to everything. Wow. It was unbelievable.
And that time that happened, were you alone?
Yeah, I was completely alone. Yeah, there was nobody in my room at the time. So I'm just like, but again, my faith was growing stronger and stronger over that time period of the first time he's appeared to me to the second time. Like I started praying way more than I've ever prayed in my life while I was still doing messed up stuff.
Yeah.
But
So that was 2 months ago.
yeah, no, 2.5 months ago or so.
Okay. So what have the last 2 months been like?
I've never been happier. I've been at peace. I've just been so happy, so joyful. And mind you, like I'm going through a lot of like real life stuff right now, like a lot of things because I've left my entire life behind me.
Yeah. You said you burnt it down.
Yeah, I've literally just like I set fire to my entire life. So yes, it is a process because, you know, God does say, you know, if you throw away your life for me, I will give you life. So I have complete faith in him. I know for a fact I'm gonna be good. And it's like it's crazy because I used to worry about so many things. I used to always stress about everything. And I just always been like that, you know. I've always been like the type of person to stress and overthink, and my mind would be working.
Anxiety.
Yeah, crazy. But it's like anything that comes into me, like comes at me, like I'm just like, okay, I'll just leave it to God. Like I stopped caring about the right things. Like at first, like I wasn't caring about the wrong things. Like it was just it was a weird flip. Like my life flipped upside down. Like you gotta understand. Like after these experiences, everything that this world conditions us to believing is right is wrong, and everything that's wrong is right.
Yeah.
It's like the craziest thing. Like I'm telling you, my whole world flips upside down. Like I just like my perspective on life completely changed.
What are some of the like very specific things that are completely different now?
Like even how I deal with people. Like anytime somebody would come at me sideways or something would happen, whether a business deal is going sideways, I would always seek revenge, or I would always deal with a person in a way like if somebody comes at me sideways, like I'll put them in their place. That's just how I've always been. Like I don't take shit from anybody, you know. If somebody tries to mess up a business deal or something like that, I would do something to ruin them. You know, like I was just that kind of person. You know, I'd always take matters into my own hands and fix my problems or anybody else's problems. That's what I'm known for. I'm known as the problem solver.
Really?
So it's like at that point, but now it's like people can disrespect me. People can do whatever they want to do, say what they want to say about me, call me crazy. I don't really care. Because I've come to realize when you start knowing God, you don't take things personal from other human beings anymore. And it's literally the best feeling. It's like you legit understand now that this person is fighting their own demons, and those demons are what's causing them to act a certain way.
Right.
And you start realizing like it's not their fault.
It's like real compassion.
Yeah, it's just not their fault.
Yeah.
I don't get mad anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong, anger is a normal thing, but I do get angry at certain things. But I don't get angry at people anymore. Like I don't, you know, force my anger on anybody else. Like if I'm angry at a certain situation, it's between me and myself. So it's like I started treating people completely differently. I started looking at life with a whole different outlook, and it's again, it's been the most peaceful I've ever felt in my life. Like, and anything that goes wrong in my life, I just pray about it. I'm just like, man, you deal with it. Like this is why I'm here now, right? Like you said, you wanted to take control of my life. You want to deal with my worries, my stress, my situations. Here you go, deal with it. I have like I've never really understood the phrase, you know, walk by faith, not by sight. Like now I truly understand what walk by faith and not by sight means. You know, growing up in the church, they always teach you walk by faith, walk by sight, but they don't really like teach you to understand the depth.
What does that mean?
What that actually means.
Yeah. And
it's like what walking by faith truly means now. It's like everything in your life, he's the one in control. And I've always been the person to control everything. Like I'm a control freak.
Yeah.
Like that's how I was raised. That's the Egyptian way. Egyptian men, you got to be the man of the house. You got to be in control of everything. Every situation that comes your way, you have to be in control of it. That's how I was raised.
So talk about that. How were you raised?
I mean, I was raised very traditionally in an Egyptian household. Like, I mean, me and my family were all immigrants. We moved to the States back in 1997. We lived in LA though most of my life, so I was raised out in LA. But I mean, my parents, like, they didn't speak a word of English to me in the house. Like, they like, you better speak Arabic when you enter this house, you know. And that's one
I
of the
wish
reasons.
my mom did that, but we're Hispanic.
Yeah.
So I'm just a white one. I'm a coconut.
Well, a lot of cultural families, like, and I've noticed this, a lot of like parents when they move here, they don't want to raise the child or the children culturally because they don't want them being made fun of, and they don't want them, you know, being bullied in
They
America.
want to like more adapt to the American.
Exactly,
culture, yeah.
exactly. So it's like, it's, you know, my parents were the complete opposite. Like, nah, like, we're sending you to Egypt every year for 3 months. You're gonna learn, you're gonna know how to speak Arabic for the rest of your life, like, and you're gonna be raised in the cultural Egyptian way, and that's how I was raised. But it's like, it's you don't understand how good it feels to finally not be in control. Like, it's the best feeling I've ever felt. Like, I finally don't have to control everything around me. I finally don't need to stress about every little detail of my life.
And do you feel like you see the benefits of that? Because maybe people who are afraid to like surrender what they at least perceive as control, they're like, what if God doesn't actually take care of things?
And that comes down to walking by faith and not walking by sight. It's like, when you truly know God and you truly surrender to God, He makes it known that He is going to make everything better for you. Whether
you've started to see that in your life.
I started to see that in my life, and I started to see like the signs that He gives me, the messages He gives me, like, and He's still in contact. It's not like He appeared to me that second time. I was like, all right, buddy, you're on your own. Here you go.
No, of course.
No, like, He's been guiding me. It's like, you know, when you're teaching your kid to ride a bicycle, like, that's what He's been doing with me. Like, he put the training wheels on for me, and He's like, here you go, and He's holding me step by step, you know. And it's an amazing feeling. It's like, I don't need to sit there and be in control of everything anymore.
Well, you even told me that God told you that I was going to reach out to you.
Yeah, which is the craziest thing, because like, we barely even know each other.
Yeah.
Like, we've hung out one time, I think, maybe twice, like for like 5 minutes the second time or something like that. But it's through mutual friends. And it's like, and it was funny because as I'm uploading that first video, like, I like get this like feeling and this like message in my mind. It was like, he's like, oh, Natalie's gonna hit you up to tell you to go on her podcast. I want you to do it. And I'm like, okay, that's like a really distinct message. That's like, that's like very specific. Like, I thought you're just telling me, okay, like, this is what it is. And then the next day you end up messaging me, and I was like laughing. But there's been a lot of that happening to me. Like, it's been so much. And like that second video I posted that you haven't watched yet, I literally have physical proof of His message.
Well, that's why I didn't watch it, because I wanted you to tell the story. Like, well, I wanted to hear it for the first time doing this. So what was that video about?
So it was like, it stemmed from another demonic attack that I had the Thursday before Good Friday that just passed. Mind you, I was fasting throughout Lent, you know, just praying more. Like, I was on a strict vegan diet. I was just going to church all the time, praying, taking communion.
That sounds so nice.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I wasn't going out. It was great. It was honestly so great. Wow. And this particular day, it was Thursday, I like had this demonic attack, but it was while I was dreaming. I wasn't awake this time. And I was like standing on top of this mountain, and like I was surrounded by an army of demons. And these demons were flying into me, like flying into my body. And I was fighting them off and just like screaming out, Christ is Lord, Christ is Lord, Christ is God. And I'm just like fighting them, but I knew I was asleep in that dream. And I'm like telling myself, wake up, wake up, wake up. So I'm like forcefully opening my eyes. And the second I finally opened my eyes, it was already morning time, so the sun was out. And I could literally see shadows flying all over my bedroom, like just flying around me. And I'm just like looking at these shadows, and I was like, by Christ's blood, be gone. Like, be gone. I'm not scared of you. Go. And they disappeared. I went back to sleep. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, all right, whatever. I'll go back to sleep. Like, I'm telling you, like this, like, it sounds like it's like a movie. It's actually crazy.
When you said demons flying, I was thinking of all the little whatever they are from
Ghost?
The Wizard of Oz.
You ever watched the movie Ghost, the old movie? Yeah, it's like you know how they like came out of the ground. Like, that's like it was crazy, but it was wild. Like, I'm just like, all right. But again, like I've had attacks my whole life. I've always been able to see demons, but I've also been able to see angels, and like saints would appear to me when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like I've always had that gift, and it's like I think my purpose in life was something a lot bigger, and the devil knew it. And the devil knew, because I was never supposed to be born. I was a miracle child. My mother was never supposed to get pregnant with me.
Wow.
And the devil usually tends to attack those who God has a special purpose for.
Right. A higher calling.
Yeah. So he attacks them even stronger. Like I would see demons in the middle of the night when I was 10 years old. And my parents obviously didn't believe me. Like, oh, you're just having a nightmare. You're having a dream. But no, like I would see them. And then there's been times where my guardian angel, who was my patron saint, his name is Saint Mena, he appeared to me when I was 10 years old after a demonic attack and calmed me down. And like, but again, like I slowly, when I was growing up, I grew up in the church, and then because of human beings that ran the church and did wrong things is what led me astray from the church. And it's like people don't understand, like a lot, and that's one of the reasons a lot of people don't want to go to church anymore, because of hypocrites and people that judge you and people that say things about you and all this stuff, that all these Christians that believe they're righteous but yet cast the stone on the sinners. Like I wasn't a bad kid growing up, but they made me believe I was a bad kid. Well, I'm like, all right, cool, you want to see a bad kid? Here's a bad kid. Like I was
rebelling, kind of.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I was never a bad kid. Like parents would always blame me for the their kids were doing, and like, dude, your kids are the ones doing. Like I'm actually the good influence on their life and trying to help them, but like they would blame me for all the shit their kids would do. And then I became known as the black sheep of the church, and I was the bad kid, and I was this and that, and don't let your kids hang out with Mena. And like, okay, cool. So what does any kid do when they grow up? Like they want to find acceptance. They want to feel like they belong to something.
Of course.
So it's like, you try to find acceptance elsewhere. And I found acceptance, being around bad people. I found acceptance around gangbangers and like drug dealers and all this stuff at the age of like 12, 13 years old.
Wow.
And like, that's like, and then you start growing into that lifestyle, and it's like, boom, and that's how the devil tricks you. He doesn't care how old you are. Like, he'll come at you at any age.
For sure.
And, and unfortunately I fell into it. I fell into the bullshit, and I steered away from God more and more and more over the years.
Yeah.
And look where it got me. Like, yeah, I've had a good life. Don't get me wrong. Like, I've always been somewhat successful, and I've done a lot of good things in my life. But I've done also just as much bad things.
Do you see yourself ever going back to your old ways?
No. Like that's like it's crazy, because like I would like try to tell people like, yeah, I'm gonna stop drinking, and I would stop for a week or two, and then I fall back into the same cycle. But it's like now, like it's like 100%. Like this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, and it actually, like, before leading up to that second encounter, I would go into the clubs. I would start having panic attacks.
Why?
I don't like it was like you could ask anybody that was around me. Like I would start freaking out, and I would run out of the club, and I'd just go light up a cigarette or something and like try to calm myself down. But I would have panic attacks nonstop every time I'd enter a club. Like I would feel like a demonic energy, and like it would get worse and worse and worse. My anxiety would build up, and it was like towards the end of me finally stopping this lifestyle, like God was already showing me, like, this isn't you. This isn't for you. I'm not going to let you keep doing this. And it's like, there was just so many things happening leading up to those encounters. But no, I definitely don't see myself ever going back. Like, and personally, like, again, like, I mean, I just left a bar. Like, I just met up with my friend, and like, I was like, hey, give me a non-alcoholic beer. Like, like, and to be honest with you, like, I drank the whole bottle, and I was like, oh, this tastes too close to beer. I don't even want this anymore. Like, I was like, I'm good. Like, I don't even want to drink that non-alcoholic beverages. Like, it's just, it's literally like, it's like something inside of me is blocking that. Like, I physically can't do it anymore, you know?
Yeah, I definitely relate to that as well. I think for me, it's been a slower process, but I'm at the point where, like, alcohol just doesn't even appeal to me. I couldn't tell you the last time that I had an alcoholic drink.
Yeah, because I remember the first time I met you, you got a virgin drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that, and I was like, what? I kind of gave you that look.
Yeah, and that was a while ago, and I just now, like, it's not that I have an addiction to it, but I like my energy as like my just equilibrium state is so much higher
I bet.
than the way that I feel on alcohol.
Yeah, because you're aware of everything.
Normally if you're like very low frequency, you drink, you do drugs to get higher.
Yeah.
Because you are a low frequency being, but when you're up here, those things bring you down.
When you're naturally up there.
Yeah, when you're naturally up there. And like you were saying, it's bringing you lower to have lower awareness, lower connection to the Holy Spirit, to your own soul.
Absolutely.
So then it's like, well, that doesn't feel good.
No,
Why would I do it?
And I'm like, that's the thing.
So at this point, it's literally like, I would have to be like special occasion, have a glass of champagne to celebrate, or like, you know, an espresso martini.
And I fight with that thought. I fight with that thought. I'm like, I don't.
But I would prefer.
Because I know if I get a sip of alcohol, I'm like,
yeah.
I feel like
I'm gonna go. Nothing.
Yeah, because like I mean, coming from me drinking a bottle of tequila a night, like no.
That's crazy.
Like I was a maniac, but like the crazy part is I was a functioning like alcoholic. Like I can actually like have a full conversation. I'd finish the bottle and you still wouldn't think I'm drunk.
Wow.
Like that's just how I've always been. Like it wouldn't affect my character. It wouldn't affect the way I spoke, the way I walked. And I'm not saying this was a good thing, the way I drove. Nothing. It wouldn't affect me in any way.
Except
spiritually.
Spiritually, yeah.
But like physically, like I'm telling you, I'd be like blacked out drunk and people would think I'm completely sober.
Wow.
But like, and that's what scares me. It's like if I go back to taking a sip of alcohol, then I'm gonna fall back into that lifestyle. But that's something I fight with. Like that thought definitely has popped up in my mind.
Yeah. How has your outlook, you've mentioned it several times about women, but how has your outlook on women and dating changed?
To be honest, I did take a vow of celibacy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I think I had enough sex in my life. I was like, all right, I'm good. But no, sex is definitely like, look, we're sexual beings. We love sex. Like it's a pleasure, you know? But you truly do have those energy transfers when you have sex with so many different people.
Soul ties.
Yes, so many soul ties, and like those energy transfers come to you, and it's real. It's a real thing. And mind you, I'm not gonna talk body count, but I've been having sex since I was 13 years old.
Wow.
It's been 20 years. So like, and it's been consecutively like. And it's gotten to a point where it's like, I don't want to do that to myself anymore and create any more soul ties, because finally, like through the grace of God, those soul ties are completely gone. He's completely removed all that from my life. And I don't want to risk it. So, I mean, the outlook on dating, to be honest with you, I didn't even date. Like I wasn't even dating. Like I was just like, hey, you want to have a drink? Hey, cool. I'll chop it up with you. Hey, you want to come back to my place? Cool, let's go. Like that's literally what it was. Like, I wouldn't take girls out to eat or really? Try to get to know them. I didn't care to know them.
You've never done that?
Well, I have done that, of course, in the past.
Yeah, you were married.
Yeah, but like, it wasn't like after that. I was like, I don't want another relationship in my life. I'm good. I just want to have my fun and do my thing. That's it.
Gotcha.
And that's what it was. And it was like, it got to that point where I was like, it was just like, it was like muscle memory. Like, I see a girl I like, she looks at me, I look at her, hey, what are you drinking? We chop it up, I game her up, boom, we go back to my spot. That's literally how it was. But now it's like, the next person I'm not gonna say the next person I talk to, but if I do get fully, into somebody and I want to get to know them, it's for marriage. Like I do want to get remarried, but I think my biggest problem in my last relationship was I didn't have God in that relationship either. I grew up Christian. I always called myself a Christian, but I wasn't really a real Christian. Just because I grew up into the religion didn't make me a Christian or a true follower of Christ.
Yeah.
So I never had God in my household, and I think that was one of my biggest mistakes. So now, like, I'm looking for particular things in the woman that I do end up being with. I need her to love God more than she loves me.
Right.
I don't want a woman that doesn't know God and love God. And if I see her loving me more than she loves God, that's going to be a problem, because I want God to be the head of our household. Like I want God to be in control of everything. Just like he's in control of my life now, and I'm just waving through life. Like I'm just like, yo, all right, cool, whatever, wherever you take me, dude. Like it's up to you.
Yeah.
And that's like the best thing about God, because like you could talk to God like a friend. Like you don't. That's another thing too. I'm gonna go to. It's like we grew up fearing God. Like the churches would make you scared of God, so you never really knew how to love God. Like they never taught you what it meant to actually love God the way
And
he
I'm
loves
sure
you.
that was especially in the Orthodox Church, just
Absolutely.
with how
How
the
strict it
structure.
is.
I mean, some of it is just from what I have seen, so beautiful, like the music and the rituals, and just
Yeah.
the very. It has a very old
What's the original Christian?
tradition.
It's the original Christian religion.
Yeah, and you can feel
Yeah.
that like just ancient
It's how
practices.
Jesus wanted us to actually pray and praise him. Like it was the true way. I mean, we were founded in 64 AD by Saint Mark. So like Saint Mark was one of his apostles. Like this is what Jesus told him to start. So like this is the actual way of praising and praying to God. So, but again, we're strict. Yes, I mean we still follow the New Testament. We don't follow the Old Testament, but we do read the Old Testament, of course. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, from generation to generation, a lot of the generations started making the religion into a strict religion. I think now though, like, I mean, I went back to my church since my transition, and like the church I go to, the Coptic Orthodox Church, I love it. The people there are different. The priests are amazing. It's not like the way it was when I was younger. I don't know if it was, I mean, I don't know if it's still like that at my old church back in LA that I used to go, but I completely despised going there. I would like the head deacons would treat the kids like crap, and it was just like how do you expect children to love God when you're treating them like that?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you're trying to instill the fear of God into these children so that way you can have the control over them and they can listen to what you tell them to do
Right.
because you want some sort of power because you're on some power trip. That's not how it works. Like, it's like I was talking to one of my old childhood friends about this the other day. Like, we need to understand like the children that growing up in the church. Like, these kids are gonna be steered away from God, just like I was, just like he was. Thank God, God finally brought us both back to Him. But like, after we've been through what? Like we've been through the freaking cycle. Like we went through hell and back to finally go to him again, to finally like come back to him. But like these kids don't need to go through what we went through. Like these kids need to start like teaching these kids how to love God instead of fearing him.
Right.
But that's what it goes back to. I mean, but yeah.
Yeah, I do. I agree. I think that the church, the Christian church in general, like you started to say, from generation to generation, just as time has gone on, it's become a lot about control. And I think the spirituality has been stifled out of the church.
Yeah.
That like we all have our own divine connection to God. We are all his breath.
We're all a unity.
Manifestations of him.
We're all one.
Yeah. And I think that gets lost in making people feel not only afraid of God, but like they'll never be good enough for God.
And it goes back to the being like not worthy of his love because of the things they've done in their past. And that's what the churches were teaching. But again, like I do see a change in our church. Like I've seen, like since I've gone back, I've seen them. They're definitely the priests that we have. They're amazing, amazing, amazing fathers, and they're not like the ones I grew up with at all. So I do see that, but again, it's just it's changing the that generational curse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have to change it up, and it's again. God just wants us to love him. He doesn't want us, like, our God is not a controlling God. Yes, he can control your life, but he doesn't force himself into your life. He wants you to want him to control it.
Right.
Like, he doesn't want to force himself into your life and make you scared of him in order to obey. But once you do surrender, yeah, you are going to have to obey.
Right. Well, you're even going to want to.
But you're going to want to obey.
Yeah.
It's not like you're not obeying out of fear anymore. You're obeying out of love. It's like a father-child relationship. You obey your father out of love. When he tells you to do something, you do it because you love him, not because you're scared of him.
That's really good. How has, how have you seen, What's the reaction been from people around you? And have your relationships changed to friends, acquaintances, the people that you know?
I mean, honestly, like after that video that I dropped, I mean, a lot of people have been calling me. I've had hundreds on top of hundreds of people calling me, messaging me,
Really?
commenting. Like it's been crazy. And a lot of the feedback I've been getting was like just like people like going like, like that's amazing. Like never in a million years did we think you'd end up like this. A lot of people have been hitting me up wanting to know more about God. A lot of people have been hitting me up telling me they're having similar demonic attacks. So it's just like it's going in all directions, but it's all everything's been good. Like I haven't gotten one negative feedback, but I'm sure like people are talking crap behind my back, like, oh, he probably thinks he's better than us now or whatever. But that's not the case at all. Like I don't think I'm better than anybody, and I think we're all equal. And I think God's purpose for me was to start bringing those lost souls back to Him. Like I when I was in the industry, I've gained so many connections. Like I know everybody in the industry. Everybody knows who I am, and a lot of these people are lost souls. But I've also gained a lot of respect from these people. But yes, they love me, and I love them back. But a lot of them want to know God. They just don't know where to start. You know what I mean? And I've noticed a lot of people have been contacting me. Believe it or not, there's so many people from the nightlife that I've actually brought to church with me already.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
quite a few people have been hitting me up, asking me questions about God, wanting to come to see my church, wanting to like get to know God more.
Yeah.
And these people were broken. They were broken, just like I was. Like
Did you expect this sort of
I absolutely did not.
No.
I'm like, yo, I'm about to look like a maniac. I was like, but this goes back to like the way I've been. I never cared what anybody thought about me. So, and I think God used that to his advantage. He was
Right.
like, this guy never cared about what people thought.
Yeah.
So let me make him like, let me show him how to follow me, and how to not be fearful of rejection. And like I was like, I'm waiting for somebody to reject it. Like I want somebody to tell me, oh, you're hallucinating, oh, you were dreaming, oh, it's bullshit, giving me like 1,000,001 excuses of how God did not appear to me. But you could.
I even think if you were dreaming, to me that doesn't discount any of
It
it.
doesn't, no, because people do see him in their dreams.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that doesn't, and you have to understand something. Like that quote in the Bible where it says like God doesn't give people more than they can handle. Like imagine it. Like some people might have had a heart attack in the bedroom
Yeah.
if they saw a white light opening up and God popping out of that white light, they probably would have dropped dead.
Yeah.
like I'm just saying, But again,
Sure.
it's like it goes back to that saying. Like, yeah, I can handle a lot. I've been through a lot of really, really messed up things in life, and I've always had that capability of being able to handle it.
When you said that when you were a kid, you would have these sort of like dreams or encounters, so you already kind of were probably somewhat familiar with.
Yeah, and it's happened. Even when I was with my ex, it would happen to me with her. Like I'll tell you a crazy story with my ex.
Okay.
Actually, this is when we first started dating.
Did you know that, according to the experts, you should be pooping 1 to 3 times a day for optimal health? Anything less than that is considered chronic constipation. This is why you look bloated all the time or have that stubborn pudge below your belly button that never seems to flatten. Hot girls have tummy issues, am I right? There are so many natural solutions to poor digestion and gut imbalances, like a good probiotic, which I personally take every single day, a clean whole foods diet, and my personal favorite, doTERRA's Digest Zen Essential Oil Blend. I am an absolute slut for doTERRA's essential oils, which are the purest on the market and I've been using for years. I use them literally every single day and I won't travel without them. Their blends like Digest Zen are curated for a specific symptom, in this case, constipation. I apply 2 drops to my belly right where my colon and intestines are in a circular motion every night before bed. Like clockwork, every morning within an hour of waking, I have a nice, smooth, large, healthy-looking bowel movement. Boys, I know some of you like to think girls don't poop, but we do. And we should all do it more often. So head to my doTERRA link in the episode description to order the Digest Zen Blend ASAP and get 25% off for an entire year. That link is my.doterra.com/TWHS. And again, it will be linked in the episode description. Thank me later.
This is like wild, okay? So we were sleeping, and I had this dream that I was running through a field, and this demon was running, was flying beside me, screaming in my face. And I could tell you how this demon looked like. It had this long black face, like huge eyes, and it had 3 fingers on each hand. And it was just following me, screaming at me. And I could hear that scream. It was piercing my ear while I'm sleeping. So I woke up, like sweating, like tripping out. I'm like, what's going on? Simultaneously, my ex, when we were together at the time, she woke up at the same time too. And she looked at me. She goes, dude, I just had the craziest dream. I said, so did I.
Oh, wow.
And she goes, this demon appeared to me in my dream. I go, I had a demon appear to me in my dream too. She goes, pass me that notebook right now. I'm going to draw it. She passed it. I gave her the notebook. She draws the same demon that I saw in my dream.
No way.
I'm dead serious.
That's insane.
I was tripping out. Mind you, remember the whole 3 fingers thing, right?
Yeah.
I go to work, okay? At the time, I was a service manager at a Toyota dealership back in LA. So I go to work, and I got there around 7:30 in the morning. And I get a call around 9 a.m. from her. And she's like, hey, baby, are you home? I'm like, nah, I've been at work for hours. What's going on? She goes, are you sure? Somebody just knocked on the bathroom while I was in the shower 3 times. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes,
well, this literally is a movie.
This literally is a movie. I'm dead serious. And I have people to testify against this. This is my ex.
Wow.
She was like, yeah, somebody knocked on the door 3 times. I kept screaming your name, but no one responded. While we were on the phone, she screams. I'm tripping out. I'm like, what's happening? I'm thinking there's a burglar in the house. Something's going on, you know?
Someone's in the house.
I'm like, what's going on? She goes, I'm going to FaceTime you. I'm going to FaceTime you. She FaceTimes me. She points the camera at the towel, and there's 3 burn marks on the towel.
What?
Dead serious.
Burn marks?
It's the exact, the way the fingers of that demon was in our dream.
Uh-huh.
That same burn, it was 3 burn marks of the shape of those fingers.
Wow.
Yeah. So
insane.
It's been happening for years. I've had encounters for years with the demonic world.
I wonder why. I wonder, why for you. Everyone is fighting a spiritual battle, whether they're aware of it or not.
Absolutely.
But I just wonder why for you have these very tangible experiences. I don't know. I've seen a demon once before. I've definitely had a lot of encounters, I'll say.
Yeah.
My dreams are off the chain. My dreams, I'm all right, see you now. And I go somewhere else and come back when it's time to wake up. Literally, I go to a whole other dimension, which actually is what dreaming is.
Yeah.
Your soul doesn't sleep. Your soul is at work while your body is asleep, unconscious. But, yeah, I saw a demon once, but it wasn't anything that intense.
What happened? What was the scenario?
I told this story once, but it was on somebody else's podcast, so I'll tell it again. But I was in college, so I was at a big school, lots of partying, lots of darkness. Mm-hmm. And I lived in a sorority house, and we had a room probably close to this size. It was really small. And there was 3 of us that slept in the room. And so we had triple stacked bunk beds. But the middle bunk was horizontal. And then me on the bottom and the girl on top are vertical. So it was this. I made an L shape.
Okay.
And I was a Christian. My friend on top was a Christian. We were walking in our faith together. We would go to church together. I was really getting close to God at that time. The girl in the middle was an atheist. Mm-hmm. And a very open atheist. And
against God? Was she always talk down on God, those kind of atheists?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Definitely. And I think she had some stuff. I know her mom died when she was really young, so she just very much so was anti-God.
Of course.
And so that was at play. And there were some things happening in the room that only I was witnessing that they were not witnessing. So it was like, the TV that we had was down low because I was the only one that would watch it before bed. Don't do that. Blue light's terrible for you. But back then I did. So I would turn on, like the sleep timer, and like the TV would go off, whatever. Something started happening where the TV, instead of it turning off at a certain time, it would turn on. And it would just go to the white noise.
Like
screen.
the white static?
Yes. Very stereotypical, but this really happened.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
It was happening night after night after night, and it was out of nowhere. Like, I was the only one who ever touched that TV.
I got
and I didn't
goosebumps
change
right now, by the way.
anything. I didn't, literally did nothing different. It just started doing that. And so I told Lauren, the girl who slept in the middle bunk, because it was her TV, she's like, dude, I have no idea. And one day she messed with it because it started to wake her up too. Like, it was annoying. And she's like, I went deep in the settings, and there was this setting that you can turn on to make the TV turn on at a certain time, whatever. So the setting had been switched to on, which none of us did that. And it was turning on at, I don't remember what the specific time was. Let's say it was 3 a.m.
Which is a typical time.
So it was something like that.
It's the typical time where they attack.
And then another thing happened where I was in there taking a nap during the day, and the back of my headboard was also like the ladder to get to the top bunk. It was just like a thing with slats in it. And I was sleeping in there one day by myself, nobody's in there, and I felt my pillow being pulled out from under my head through the slats.
Oh, hell no.
And this is a house with like 100 girls who live there. So I felt it happening, and I thought somebody was in my room like messing with me.
Yeah.
And I sat up and turned around. Nobody's there, and the pillow is like so far through the slats it's like almost falling out. But it wasn't in a position where it could fall. You would have to be pulling the pillow.
Yeah. Was it like inside of it? Like inside of that little...
It was like, yeah. The pillow
so it's like he was like pulling it from under the bed.
Pulling it from under my head.
Uh-huh.
Like if this is my head right here, this is the pillow, he's going like this.
Oh, hell.
And it behind me is these slats, so it's going between this, like very specific. Somebody would have had to be literally.
You had to
going
physically
like
be
this.
doing that.
Yeah. And so I was like, that's weird. And then the other thing was there was an alarm clock, kind of very same desk that the TV was on, and none of us used it. Like, who uses an alarm? Well, it was like a digital old school clock that had an alarm that you have to go press snooze. And again, none of us set it, none of us touched it. It started going off at 3 p.m. So it was like the 12-hour difference from the exact same time as the TV. So the TV's turning on at 3 a.m. Now this clock buzzer is going off at 3 p.m. It happened to me twice in that room by myself, and I was just like, what? The first time it happened, I didn't even know there was a clock. Like, I didn't even know what was happening. I was like, what's this freaking alarm? And so then I told my roommates, and one of them was like, yeah, that happened to me too. I thought one of y'all had like set the alarm. And all three of us were like, no, why would we do that? Shortly after that was when I was sleeping, and all three of us are asleep in there. And so mind you, I'm on the bottom bunk. So my view is Lauren in the middle bunk, sleeping horizontal to me.
Atheist.
Yes. So her head sleeps above my feet. Okay. And so I wake up with just that feeling.
That uneasy feeling.
Yeah. And I was kind of looking around, and on her bed, at the foot of her bed, was a shadowy creature that was sort of in like a crouched position. It was small. It was like almost the size of like a six-year-old child, and it was sitting there watching her sleep. Like, it was like this to me. Like I had its side view.
Wow.
But the shape, it was as real as you sitting right here. Yeah. And of course it was dark-ish in the room. Like there was some light, but it was light enough for me to see that there is a being on her bed
just
watching her.
Out of all people, the atheist, right? So like coincidentally,
Of course, yeah. And obviously, this is after I'm already getting creeped out by shit going on in our
Yeah,
room.
absolutely.
And so then I saw it, and I was like, I wasn't afraid. I just had an awareness immediately of like, I know what that is. I was literally going like this, like, kept blinking my eyes. I'm like, okay, let me make sure I'm not tripping. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, no, that's for sure, that's there. And I'm like, not really moving, or I'm not gonna engage with it.
Yeah.
I just had an awareness that I know what that is. I know why it's there, and I'm just gonna pray and go to sleep.
That's all you can do.
So that's what I did.
And that's the thing too. Like as Christians, like you have to understand. Like I'm gonna emphasize the importance of being baptized. Like being baptized is really what puts the Holy Spirit inside of you, and like that's what protects us from actual like demonic possessions. Like when you're baptized and you take communion and all that, that's actually one of the biggest protection to demonic attachments. A lot of people, you know, there's a lot of people that are Christians that haven't been baptized, but those people are more prone to being possessed. Like, but also you could also be possessed when you steer away from God and you stop taking communion. You could have been baptized, but if you stop taking communion, that's what I did for years. Like, I had a protection to a certain degree. Does that make sense? So all those attacks I've ever had, those demons they've been trying to possess me for years. They just couldn't. Like they've been trying. But like God would allow them, yes, to appear to me, to mess with me, but He never allowed them to possess me because I still had His protection at the end of the day because of me being baptized. So I just wanted to put some emphasis on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's crazy. Like I'm actually gonna go into demonic possession. This happened to me actually last Friday. Crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So since that last attack that I had with the army, and like I prayed for them to stop. Like I want you to watch that video because it's like God actually responded to me about telling me like the demons will stop attacking me in the middle of the night. Like He actually like sent me a message
Really?
from what I prayed. I told him to stop letting the demons attack me because they're really just annoying me now. I'm not even scared of them anymore. They're like a nuisance. Like they're really just messing up my sleep schedule at this point. You know. So like I haven't had an attack since that Thursday before Good Friday, but this is how crazy the devil works. He sent a demon-possessed person into my office last Friday. Like this.
How do you know that?
This guy was possessed. Never seen a person act like that in my life. Like this man walks into my office, and he's like flipping out, like making like all these weird like body like movements, and I'm like, "You okay?" He goes,
This
"Yeah."
is someone you knew?
This
or
is somebody I
you don't
didn't know.
them?
I didn't know.
Okay.
It was just, I thought it was just a customer coming into my office. I'm like, you good, man? Like everything all right? Like you tweaking or what? Like what's going on? You know? Any reasonable person within this person's on drugs.
Right.
Like that's why we were like, oh, this guy's drugged out. So I'm like, it's okay, like relax. He's like, I'm just nervous. I'm like, why are you nervous? He goes, I just to buy insurance. I'm like, oh, why would that make you nervous, bro? Like that's kind of a weird thing to be nervous about. So I'm like, I sit him in my office. I'm like, at my desk. I'm like, just have a seat, man. Relax. You want some water? You want some soda? Something to calm you down? Like anything?
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm okay. I'm like, all right. I'm kind of like, I'm getting his information to like figure out what, you know, like what quote I could give him for his insurance. And he's just like I smoke in my office. Like I smoke inside my office. Like that's how old school Egyptian I am. I don't give a like is in front. I'll smoke, but I usually like I like you know I do ask the customer like the smoking bother you. And if smoking bothers them, I don't smoke.
Yeah.
You know. So I was like, does smoking bother you? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. He's like, it makes me remember the times when I wasn't sober, and like makes me want to drink again, and do drugs again. And I was like, oh, so
How old was this guy?
this guy's probably like 32.
Oh,
32,
okay.
33, something like that. Like my age, you know? And I'm like, oh, you're sober. He's like, yeah, I've been sober for 7 years. Like, twitching. I'm like, dude, what the is going on right now? Like, this is crazy. And I'm usually packed. I keep a strap with me at all times,
Good.
usually.
Yeah.
That day, for some reason, some odd reason, coincidentally, I forgot it at home.
Of course.
Out of all days. And I'm like, there's no way this is happening the day I forget my gun. I'm about to get murdered by a tweaker. Like, this is crazy. Like, but I'm talking to him, right? And something in my soul was like speaking to me on how to handle the situation. So I'm like looking up quotes and stuff to see how much his like insurance would be. And he's like, I just want to let you know, I don't have any money. I'm like, oh, he's definitely trying to rob me right now. Like, oh, he's definitely trying to rob me.
Yeah.
Like, all right, cool. The day I don't have my gun on me,
Yeah.
he's trying to rob me. Great. I love it. Thank you, God. Like, all right, great, cool. So I'm like, all right. I'm like, no worries. I'll buy the insurance for you. He was like, what? I was like, yeah. I was like, something inside of me is telling me to buy your insurance. I'm going to give you the insurance. You can just pay me back whenever you have the money.
Wow.
And he's like, why would you do that? I was like, I don't know. I feel like you just need some help, and I feel like God sent you here for me to help you, and I want to help you. I don't want you driving around without insurance. I'll buy the insurance policy for you. He's like, God? I'm like, yeah, God. God wants to be with you. He wants to help you.
Wow.
Like, Jesus loves you, man. Like, and the thing is, behind my desk, I have a huge crucifix on my wall, like just hanging there. And he kept staring at that crucifix and looking behind him, and kind of like just like nodding.
What in the world?
It was the weirdest
I would've been out of
situation.
there.
Oh no, I was tripping, but like again, like you gotta understand, like I'm not scared of demons. So like, what would make me scared of a guy who has a demon possession? Like I don't care. So I'm just staring at him. I'm like, you want me to buy it for you? He's like, yeah, well, I'm studying to be an electrician right now, but I just get so angry, and like start screaming. I'm like, all right, it's all good. Calm down. Don't worry. I was like, God's gonna help you. Don't worry. Whatever you're going through right now, God's gonna help you. He's gonna get you out of it. He's like breathing all heavily, and like, it's okay. Calm down. Don't worry. Like, you're fine. You're gonna be fine. And he's like, it's okay. It's okay. Thank you. And he like just like runs out of my office. And I'm like, I'm just looking up. I'm like, what are the odds this would happen to me right now?
Yeah.
After God specifically told me that the demons are not going to be able to attack me anymore. And they certainly haven't attacked me since that last time I prayed for it. I told him, stop letting the demons attack me. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I'm over it. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm not scared of them. I'm just annoyed. Like, they haven't attacked me since. The devil went out of his way to bring a possessed man into my office. Like, that's how far it's been going.
Wow.
Like, he can't.
So you're confident he was possessed and
Oh,
not
absolutely.
just a crackhead.
He was the guy was sober. Like, he was telling me about his sobriety. Like, you could tell that he was still trying to speak. Like the person who he was trying to speak, but the demon was trying to take full control of him.
That's so weird.
Yeah, but he was like telling me, like being honest with me, and I could tell because if I would have told him, like, first of all, who the hell turns down free insurance? Like, all right, who the hell says no to free insurance? If somebody's like, yeah, I'll pay for your first month, hell yeah, dude, sign me up. What do you mean? You know what I mean? So it's like, there was much more to that. Like, it wasn't a logical situation. And I've come to learn that nothing in this world is logical. Logic doesn't exist.
Yeah. Yes, logic is is a tool of the human mind, and that's it. But like, it only exists in like the 2D realm of like
Absolutely.
Our human capacity.
Yeah, what we can see, but like, no, this goes deeper.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. It's not actually real.
Yeah, it's funny. I called like my buddy, my childhood friend, and I was talking to him about this, and it's funny because that same day he was telling me like what my name meant about me being a safe haven, and I truly was a safe haven for people. Like, even at the clubs, like when girls felt like they were being harassed.
That's the meaning of your name?
Yeah, Mena. It's like harbor, a harbor.
Oh wow.
So basically, like, my whole life, people would find their safe space in me. Like, whenever they were like in trouble or like were going through a problem or needed any sort of protection, they would come to me for that. But I never felt like I had anybody to go to for that same sort of protection. So we were talking earlier in the day, and he was like, yeah, he's like, that's what your name means. He's like, you've always been a safe haven for people. Like, and it's really true, because like girls will tell you, like, you could speak to hundreds of the women that know me. Like, whenever they were at the clubs and guys would harass them, I would be the first person they look at to help them. And I would go and I'd be like, and I'd make sure like these guys get the fuck away from them. You know, one way, I'll do it politely in the beginning until if the guy pushes it, then he'll see the other side of me. But like, hundreds of women will testify to that. So he was telling me about that earlier in the day, and he was like, he's trying to teach you how to rely on him and not your gun. And I'm like, funny you say that, because I forgot my gun at home. Like, and this happened hours before this dude comes into my office. Hours. So like, what are the odds of
The
that?
conversation?
Yeah, that conversation
wow.
happened hours before that possessed guy came into my office.
Oh, wow.
So what are, like, and that's one thing. Nothing in this world is a coincidence.
No.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
There's no such thing
Everything
as a
is
coincidence.
perfectly orchestrated by God.
Yes.
Everything. Every little detail of your life.
Right.
And
Because I heard this once, and it was a really good like way to frame that, because people, when it's a coincidence that's something like that you could easily like logic your way out of it.
yeah.
But if you say that's a coincidence, then you have to say every breath that you take is a coincidence then. Because for every single mechanism in your body to operate properly at the exact same second, this neuron fires and then this goes off and then this then that's a coincidence.
Absolutely. Too. Yeah, this whole life, your whole existence would be a coincidence. Like that's shit. I'm sorry. Like there's no such thing as luck and there's no such thing as coincidence. It's all God. Yeah. It's all God at the end of the day. And like, if you really knew who I was, like truly knew the person I was these last how many years?
20 something.
Yeah, like nobody would have ever thought I'd be like this. Like nobody. And I've always been that logical person, by the way, mind you. Like I always thought things were coincidences. I always overlooked things, and always been like, oh, it happens. Like that's the kind of person I was. But no, like since I've surrendered and since I've given my life to God, like I know it's like He literally orchestrates every little detail of your life. Right. Everything that happens to you happens for a reason, and it happens to teach you something, or it happens to bless you. Those are the only two things that happen in your life. Every little detail, every hair on your body, he did that to a T. Like that's how God works. It's pretty crazy.
Now that you've gone through all this, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And where do you think you would have been in 10 years had this not happened?
If all this didn't happen, I probably would have been dead, to be honest with you. I probably would have been dead. I probably would have drank myself to death or something, some freak accident, something would have happened. Like that's really how I feel. Yeah, no, I definitely feel like I would have been dead in the next 10 years. If I continued this lifestyle, no. But where I see myself now in 10 years, I can't answer that because once you surrender your life, like you don't plan anything anymore. Like I don't have a plan. I used to have that 5 and 10 year plan and all that stuff, and now it's like wherever He sends me, whatever He does for me. Like I'm done. And that goes back to me not being in control anymore. It's whatever He wants.
Yeah.
If He wants me to go there, I'll go there. If He wants me to do this, I'll do this. It's up to Him. So I don't know what He truly has planned for me. I know what He has planned for me right now. I know what my purpose is right now. I know what I'm doing right now.
What's that?
Truly just to help all these broken, lost souls that are in the nightlife and like just teach them about God. Like, and again, like I don't want to teach people about God the same way the churches were teaching people about God through fear. Like, and I'm not going to ever force God on you because God wouldn't force Himself on you. Like it's, people that are Christians and what's called evangelic Christians and all that.
Yeah, evangelical.
Yeah, like they force it on people. It's like it's not how it's supposed to be done. Like the people,
or like the Mormons that knock on
yeah,
your door.
exactly. Like man, the whole world has heard about Jesus, brother. Like there hasn't been a soul in this world that hasn't heard about Jesus. You don't need to knock on people's doors. All right, I'm just being real. But it's like it has to get to a point where like you have to understand, people have to want to know Him and to get to know Him in order for them to be helped.
Yeah.
It's like they gotta want help in order to be helped. You can't force it on anybody. And again, like God Himself doesn't force Himself on people. He only comes into your life when you need Him or when you want Him. He'll intervene when He feels like He definitely needs to intervene. But He'll never force your decision. That's the best part about free will. You have the decision to make whether you want to not have Him in your life or you do want to have Him in your life. And that's like the problem with atheists. Like you guys chose not to have Him in your life. But the greatest thing that the devil has ever done to the world was tricking people into making them think that He doesn't exist, but God does. So that way, when the devil does up things to you, you blame God.
Interesting.
and you keep resenting him. That was the best lie and thing that the devil's ever done.
Well, there's even a saying that like in regards to atheists, like even the devil believes in God.
Exactly.
So it takes more faith than the devil to be an atheist.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's scary.
That's very scary. I saw that reel like a few days ago where the devil, like where like this guy was pretending to be the devil, and he's like, "Hey, sir, how are you doing? Come follow me." And he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Oh, you're in hell."
Not too shabby. Thanks for
What the
asking.
hell? What the hell?
Did you say Siri?
That's weird. That was the devil talking. He's like, "Not too shabby." Oh man,
funny.
no. So like,
That's funny too, because this room has there's so much energy that's been exchanged in here, 'cause it's in a
Yeah.
podcasting room.
Yeah.
That like the lights turn on by themselves and like
sure.
stuff happens in here.
Look, I'll tell you something
Not
right
necessarily
now.
dark or evil, but just like
No matter
a
what
lot
kind of
in
energy it
here.
is, no matter what kind of energy it is, like you have to understand, once you have Christ with you, like don't ever be scared of anything. Like when it says do not be afraid 365 times in the Bible, that's every day of the year, it's for a reason. Like you can never be scared of anything when you have him. Because I'm telling you right now, the second you fear is the second you lose a little faith. Is the second when everything goes to. That's how it works. And mind you, like I know people are probably gonna be like, "Yo, this dude cusses too much to be a Christian." I get it. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I'm a perfect person, because I'm not, and we're all sinners.
And your next thing is that you need to quit smoking.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be my next thing. I've been smoking for like 21 years, so that's definitely gonna be my next thing. I mean, I've already finished everything. All the other bad things that I was doing is gone.
Yes.
Thank God.
I'm just saying, just for your health alone.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. No, it's definitely it's like I'm holding on to a little bit of my past life, just a little piece of it, just. But no,
let it go.
I do have to let it go. Absolutely, no, it's definitely gonna be my next thing. But yeah, it's step by step. I mean, even cursing and like cussing a lot, like that's something else I'm working on.
For sure, yeah.
But like that just shows you the authenticity of who I am. Like that's like I don't like. I'm not going to pretend that I'm perfect, because I'm not perfect. None of us are perfect. None of us are going to be perfect. We're all going to be forever sinners, no matter what. In God's eyes, we will never be good enough to enter the kingdom of heaven. But that's how much grace and mercy and love he has for us, that he's still willing for us to enter the kingdom of heaven with all our sins, as long as we repent for it. As long as we're truly sorry for the things we do, and we truly try and try and try to be the person that he wanted you to be. It doesn't matter what you've done in the past.
What would you say so obviously like with the show, it's actually very 50-50, like male and female audience, but speaking as a man to other men, what would you tell men who are lost, who are like kind of doing the basic nightlife, go out, party, drink, go back,
Trying to get girls
hustle
all every
Monday to
night.
Friday. Yeah, just what so many men are in our age range are doing. What would you tell them where to start moving towards a life that's actually worth something?
Well, first I would tell them, like, stop idolizing this lifestyle. Like, and that's the problem, because people like me made people like them idolize it. Like, it's all bullshit. It's complete trash. You're gonna lose your soul. Like, you won't have the sense to love or care and truly love somebody ever, because you're constantly chasing the next thing, constantly. Like, I want the next finer girl, like the next sexiest girl I see, I'm gonna get her. The next sexiest girl out there, I'm gonna get her. I want the next drink, I want the next drug, I want this, I want that. It doesn't stop. It's a never-ending cycle, and truly, it is hell on earth. It is hell on earth, and it will take you nowhere. It'll take you nowhere. And again, like, I feel like I sound like an asshole, because I still have a lot of friends that are in the nightlife doing what I was doing, and I love them. I'm like, I still love and respect them, and they're still brothers to me. But like, I can't tell them in their face what you're doing is wrong. I can't do that, because one way or another, they're gonna have to know that for themselves. Like, it's like they're gonna have to grow out of that mindset, whether it's from something that they go through or something that God puts them through, or maybe they might have a calling too. I don't know.
Well, everyone's on their own timeline.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And again, and that goes back to not forcing God on people. You know, it's like, if you want to know God, ask the questions. Like, God will answer. He will.
Yeah. 100%.
And even like, I want to talk to the women too. All right.
Yeah,
The nightlife.
do it.
All right, look. Don't think all the things that you're doing right now is gonna satisfy you or help you. All that temporary validation. Like, you're worth more than what you are right now. Don't believe all the bullshit that people put in your head telling you that, you know, you're this or you're that, because you could be so much more. And this is coming from me, who, you know, I just looked at women as objects, and I never really cared. And I would hit and quit, do my thing. I didn't care. But I'm telling you, like, it starts with you. It doesn't start with the people around you. Like, you truly need to learn to say no and not believe that bullshit validation that you think you need. It's not worth it.
I think that so many women are stuck in the trap of like wanting validation from others, from men. And it's this like spiral that takes you down, especially if you're like someone who is partying, you're going out all the time, you're a bottle girl, or you're in that scene, like just that whole space. And I'm a firm believer that if you are a woman, there's only one kind of woman. You want a husband.
Absolutely.
And you want children.
Absolutely.
I think there are exceptions to the rule when people have other callings, but by nature, you want to love and you want to be loved. You want to feel safe and protected, and you want to nurture people.
Absolutely.
And we've been so brainwashed into thinking the total opposite is what we want. And so then we end up lost because we're still trying to fill that void that we were given on purpose to fill with love and family and that connection, that holy connection to a man. And so you're searching in the wrong places to fill that void. And I want to ask you, what would you say to women, like, since you've seen both sides, right? You've looked at women that way as objects, and now you've completely changed your view. What should women start doing or stop doing to get out of that trap and move towards God and towards the things that we really desire?
To be honest with you, and I've seen this a lot, where these girls start super young in the nightlife. Like, you gotta understand, like, owners and stuff, and like people that I know would like hire girls at 19, 18 years old, 20 years old, 21 years old, super young, and they get molded into this lifestyle. And they also idolize the lifestyle of the rich that come into the club, the guys with the Benzes and the Bentleys and the Raris and the Lambos and the mansions, you know, and the ones that, you know, always like, oh, I'll buy you a Gucci bag, I'll buy you these, I'll buy you that. And like, you know, and like they just like smash them, but they look at them like they're nothing. Like, you gotta understand, these guys don't give a shit about you. They won't. Like, they got money. Like, you think you're gonna help them with anything in their life? No. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's just the truth. You're idolizing the money, yeah, and they make some pretty good money in the nightlife. Like, the girls, like, they'll make some really good money, but it's never gonna be enough. But all that does, it causes you to obviously go further from God. But this kind of goes down to like the devil's plan. What's the devil's plan? To stop the population. He wants, he despises humans. So like, when a woman is in that position where she's screwing around with mad guys and, you know, messing around with mad dudes, or doing whatever she's doing, getting drunk all the time, doing drugs all the time, no guy who's worth some sort of value would ever look at you as a wife. So you just fell into the devil's plan of not doing the typical human nature, where the typical getting married and having kids and being unified through Christ. Like, and that's literally what the devil's been doing. That's all these things are just like God orchestrates everything. Guess what? The devil does the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Just like God prepares his people, the devil prepares his. That's how it works. You see all these evil people in the world. They've been molded by the devil himself. But yeah, there's a lot of good people in the world too, and they've been molded by God himself.
Yeah.
And we all know who's the strongest. We all know how the story ends.
Yeah.
All right, we all know how it ends. So let's be real here.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for tuning in to today's episode of That's What He Said. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I hope you're taking away something valuable that will benefit your dating life. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please give this show a follow, rate, and review. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, like this video, and most importantly, comment below because I want to hear what you said. See you next time.